All right, fans, John Rush, your host today. My son Richard Rush behind the camera. This is a review of the 2017 Toyota Avalon. Now, I'm not going to say all new Avalon because there's really not a lot of changes this year in the Avalon. So this particular vehicle is a hybrid. You can tell that by the blue around the insignia, around the logo, and that's true with all Toyota Lexus vehicles. You'll see the blue around it if it's a hybrid. So this is the 2017 Avalon hybrid, $43,639. The only option on this car that we test drove is carpeted mats for $225. That's it. Everything else is standard on this particular vehicle. Only thing new for 2017 is the Toyota Safety Sense P system, they call it. That gives you pre-collision warning with pedestrian detection, lane departure with steering assist, auto high beams, and adaptive cruise control. That's what comes in the Toyota Sense P. So let's take a walk around on the car, and I will tell you just right off the bat, and I'll get out of the way here, one of the things that we do like about the Avalon is, frankly, it's a great buy of a vehicle. For the dollars that you spend, it's essentially a Lexus ES. That's really what you're buying in this car, or what you're getting in this car, and frankly, it's essentially the same car, same room, same feel, same drivability. It really, it's really a Lexus with the Toyota badging on it. And if you're somebody that's sensitive to, not owning a Lexus, and some of you would say, well, John, what difference would that make? Well, you'd be surprised. There are certain individuals, certain professions, and so on, where driving a Toyota Avalon is okay, driving a Lexus ES300 is not. So those of you that are in that world, this is a car that's essentially a Lexus with the Toyota badging on it, and we'll talk about that as we go through the interior. You've seen us review this car before. It's one of our favorite all-time, cars. I'll talk about the hybrid system and the hybrid on this particular vehicle, mileage and so on. But while we're here, let's just get into the trunk. If I hit the button, or I can hit the key fob, either way, pop it open, and you'll notice you do have a little less trunk space on this car because of the battery pack that has to be in here for the hybrid. Now, if that's something that's of concern, you really need to look at the depth of the trunk and what you're losing, and is that okay, and the difference in the fuel economy plus the cost of the hybrid. You'll have to determine whether or not that's a good fit for you. Personally, this is nothing against Toyota, but personally, I would buy the regular V6 version of this. I don't feel like you gain enough in fuel economy for what you lose in the trunk and so on. That's just me personally. Now, with the hybrid though, here's some bonuses you get. 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the hybrid system, 3 and 36 bumper to bumper, and a 60K powertrain corrosion warranty on the hybrid system. Let's go hop in the back seat. All right, before I hop in the back seat, I want Richard just to kind of show you what things look like in there. Nice apportionments, again, very, very comfortable. They've done a good job on the interior, and I've talked about that in the past. They really have. It's really a nice vehicle. Keep in mind, this seat here is in the exit position, so as I climb in, this car, this seat's all the way back, and I still have got an easy, 8-10 inches of room. I'm 5'10", plenty of room back here, even with the sunroof where this dips down ever so slightly, does not affect the headroom in the back. Again, very comfortable, luxurious car. It does have a fold down, if I can get it out, fold down console with a couple of cup holders here in the back, which works out great. You do have heated seats here in the back seat as well, plus some controls for the ventilation and a 12-volt power outlet, plus your vents that are back here. So again, very, very comfortable back seat, nice apportionments throughout. They've done a good job. But the only thing that I would like to see on this car, Toyota, if you're listening, would be some sunshades in the back. A lot of the higher-end luxury cars, you'll see a sunshade in the back. So if you've got backseat passengers, kids, anything along those lines, that would be a nice added feature to have on the vehicle. And a rear sunshade, which, by the way, on the Lexus you do get, so that's something to note. Outside of that, still a great car. I would not buy this car because of that. You could tint the windows or do whatever you want to handle that on your own. And keep in mind, you're saving, I think we've done the math before, you get into an ES300, not a hybrid, but just a regular ES300, you're in the high 40s. I think we've done the math before. You're about $5,000 to $6,000 difference between this versus the Lexus. You'll have to be the judge of which one you buy. Let's hop in the front seat. All right, folks, now in the front seat, 2017 Toyota Avalon hybrid. And one quick note, it does have a rear sunshade. We'll show you that when we get to driving here in just one second. Frankly, I haven't used it in this test drive, partially why I didn't realize it was there. The controls are actually over here on the left, kind of hidden in a way. You really have to look for where that control is for the rear sunshade, but I'd still like to see some rear window sunshade. So Toyota, if you're listening, just something to note. It does have a nice sunroof in it. It's not huge as far as the length of it goes, but you don't have a long roof to do much with it. So what they've done, what they can with that, it does make it nice and airy and it good. And again, nice apportionments throughout, and it's very, very Lexus-y like, if you would. The center stack, the way they've done everything, you know, minus the controls for the radio sitting here like you would normally find on the Lexus, the rest of the interior flows very, very well. And again, it's very high-endish, very, very Lexus-y, if you would. A nice wood grain throughout, comfortable seating. This is a, how should I say this? We get a lot of questions on this car from people. Should I buy this or should I buy the ES? You know what? It really is going to boil down to what vehicle do you prefer? Do you want to own a Toyota? Do you want to own a Lexus? And something else to consider along those lines, which I've mentioned before in response to those individuals, is what do you have as far as a dealership network around you? You may find there's many more Toyota dealerships and the ability to service and handle the car for you, especially under warranty with Toyota, than it is with Lexus. For example, here in the Denver market, we have many more Toyota dealers than we do Lexus dealerships, and that's just something to keep in mind. Not saying you're going to have it serviced a lot, but it's something to keep in mind, especially for some of you that may live in rural towns and areas around the country that don't have a Lexus dealer nearby. So something to consider, because this car competes extremely well in its market. It really is a high-end luxury sedan, even though that's not what it's marketed to. That's really what you end up with. Let's go take a quick drive in the 2017 Toyota Avalon Hybrid. All right, folks, taking a drive now, 2017 Toyota Avalon Hybrid. As I put it into reverse, you'll notice it does have the dynamic grid lines. You can tell the steering wheel was turned already. I can back right up against the curb. Sorry for the lighting, but works extremely well. That part of it, pretty standard. We have been through numerous systems before with the Toyota new system they've got. Really like it. It works extremely well. You look at some of our other reviews, if you would. It's pretty self-explanatory. Dual climate control, heated and ventilated front seats. You do have an EV mode, Eco, and Sport right down here on the console that you can choose between. It does have a nice drawer in here for you can set your cell phone, charge it, do whatever you want to, hook it into the system, however you want to do it. And it does have the wireless charging if you so desire. And some phones come standard with that, so just something to keep in mind. My Apple iPhone does not. As we take a drive, very quiet, yet nice sporty feel, even with the hybrid system. 200 horsepower combined. It's got like 140 horsepower electric motor. This car has plenty of pep. That is not an issue at all. The car works fabulous. And again, this is one of our favorite cars for driving. It just works well. It's comfortable, and I really enjoy it. Now, one thing I will note, though, that was a knock on this particular car, and maybe it's just this vehicle, I'm not sure, because we have averaged higher than this in the past. So if I go to the app screen and I go to the Eco mode and I look at our mileage, this car is rated at 39 and 40. The best we have gotten is about 32 to 33 miles to the gallon. We've averaged 34 is what it says, but that was just after a reset a couple of days ago to see if I could get it up some. And that was really paying attention to how we were driving the car. So we have not been higher than 35 miles to the gallon, period, driving the car. And typically, I will tell you right now, that's low for me, because typically we can get about 40 miles to the gallon in this car. That's what we've averaged in some of the other test reviews that we have done. So just something to take note of. Don't know if it's just this vehicle in particular or what we had for fuel and the fact that we're in colder weather this time of year. I don't know, but we average less fuel economy in this car than we typically would have. So something to take note of. Again, personally speaking, I would probably buy just a standard 3.5 V6, but if you're a hybrid person, you like the fact that it's got the hybrid drive, you don't mind a little bit of lack of trunk room, you like the peppiness to the hybrid, which this car does have. It works really, really great right off the line. Just something to take note of. And as always, as we say, if you go out to your local Toyota dealer and test drive this vehicle, please let them know you heard about them on Drive Radio.